Did you know that the cells in our body also spend money using an energy currency known as ATP? ATP functions like a little battery in a cell, charging and discharging as needed to complete all tasks. This led me to consider the possibility of human society adopting an ATP style of money. Our group will analyze the features of the ATP-ADP decentralization, human currency conversion, and the effectiveness of the gold standard commodity money. Here are our allocations. We're going to hear the first question from Zhongqi Han.
First, let's introduce the composition and formation of ATP. ATP consists of adenosine and three phosphate groups, with the phosphate groups connected by high-energy phosphoandroid bonds, particularly the last phosphate bond, which stores a significant amount of chemical energy. When this bond is broken, energy is released for cellular use. In the cell's energy factory, the mitochondrion ATP synthesis rephosphorates ADP and inorganic phosphate to regenerate ATP, providing energy for cellular activities. Critical processes such as nerve impulses, muscle contraction, DNA replication, and protein synthesis all depend on the supply of ATP. ATP, when it comes to the discharge process of ATP, we also call it energy release. ATP released energy through a hydrolysis reaction, where, under the catalysis of enzymes, ATP reacts with water and breaks down into ADP and inorganic phosphate, simultaneously releasing energy. The released energy is used to drive various energy-consuming processes within the cell, such as the synthesis of proteins and nucleic acids. Next came the charging process of ATP. We can also say it energy storage. ADP is rephosphorated by combining with inorganic phosphate in the presence of energy input to regenerated ATP. The energy required for this process primarily comes from pathways such as cellular respiration, photosynthesis, fatty acid oxidation, and protein metabolism. The ATP-ADP cycle is a dynamic equilibrium process. Cells continuously consume ATP while simultaneously synthesizing ATP through metabolic pathways, ensure a constant supply of energy. Thank you.
Here's Yue Xipeng explaining the ATP-ADP decentralization.
Now, I'd like to talk about how decentralized are ATP-ADP molecules. In the cell, decentralization means that the energy carriers are not stored centrally. ATP molecules act as mobile energy carriers that are transported, synthesized, and consumed between different regions of the cell according to the demands of cellular activity, thus maintaining cellular energy homeostasis. Mitochondria, the main site of ATP synthesis, have an inner membrane that continuously produces ATP by oxidative phosphorylation. But internal ATP stores last only a few seconds and are then rapidly exported to the cytoplasm via the ANT. This forms a precise dynamic network. The core of the system is decentralized but not chaotic, where energy production and consumption are separated and closely linked. As for the differences in ATP-ADP concentrations, the concentration of ATP is usually higher than that of ADP in cells because cells professionally convert ADP to ATP to store energy. When cellular activity increases, ATP is consumed at a faster rate, and the concentration of ADP rises temporarily, triggering the cell to accelerate ATP synthesis. For example, the ATP concentration around myogenic fibers can drop by 50% in 0.1 second during the intense skeletal muscle exercise. Peter Mitchell's chemical osmosis theory reveals that ATP distribution is not mere diffusion, but controlled by an energy regulating valve on membrane, enabling both dispersion and procession. Under fluorescent labeling, ATP flickers and flows like fireflies, lighting up where energy is needed. That's all. Thank you.
Lai and I will present our answer to the question how to transform money into an ADP-like energy currency. Energy currencies typically refer to a monetary system or unit of exchange that use energy as a baking or measure of value. Transforming currencies into ATP-like energy currencies has the potential to drive change in the energy system by developing specific currencies to encourage more environmentally sustainable consumption, mobilize investment in renewable energy, and promote energy efficiency.
For similarities, the first thing is about the three basic functions of money. For medium of exchange, ATP transmits information and facilitates an energy exchange between sales. It is similar to currency enabling goods and services exchange. For store of value, ATP stores and distributes energy for life activities. It is like currency storing value through saving or investment. For unit of measuring value, ATP services as standardized energy unit. It is similar to currency as a unit for measuring value. The second is both of them has a second ecosystem. ATP cycles through synthesis, decomposition, regeneration. For currency, it follows production, distribution, exchange, and the consumption circle. For differences, the first thing is about the generation method. ATP is internally produced by biochemical reactions, while credited money is created by financial institutions based on market signals. The second is about the stability of regulation. ATP self-regulates stably, while currency is affected by socio-economic factors and is less stable. The third is about the regulation efficiency. ATP adjusts the supply efficiently, but currency regulation has delays. The fourth is forms of existence. ATP is a fixed energy unit in living organisms, while currency exists in physical and digital forms. The fifth is substitutability. ATP is irreplaceable, while modern currency can be replaced within economic systems. And next, we are introduced the implementation path. The first path is circular economy model. ATP can hydrolyze into ADP and PI, then run synthesis, ensuring resource efficiency and sustainability. So we suppose the transformative model, a balanced energy currency mechanism, enforces equal conversion at each economic stage, ensuring continuous resource utilization. The second is achieve a decentralized network. For ATP, sales autonomously regulate ATP cycles without external control. So we suppose the model blockchain currency systems can improve economic security and transparency, enabling autonomously global energy distribution. The third we mention that establish more accessible currency. ATP exists equally in every sale, ensuring energy distribution. So we can transform the model is that develop blockchain and digital currencies to increase accessibility, reduce reliance on traditional banks, and elevate poverty and inequality.
Fourthly, when a transaction occurs, instead of simply changing account numbers as in a traditional bank transfer, energy currencies cause a physical transfer of energy in real time, just as the breakdown of ATP into ADP must be accompanied by a release of energy. Each flow of energy coins represent an allocation of real energy. More crucially, the transparency of transactions enabled by energy currencies via blockchain technology makes the credit generation process as verifiable as ATP analysis. Each unit of money generated correlates to a traceable energy input. Fifthly, in terms of stored value functionality, ATP stores energy via high-energy phosphate bonds, and its structure provides valuable insights. Energy can be stored and recharged, for example, through labor or energy production. Currency is related to energy, which is immediately convertible. Individual and company energy wallet are similar to the sales restocked ATP reserve pool, which can handle daily micro transactions and can be automatically restocked via smart contracts. When energy currencies are used as payment methods, they can be quickly transformed to energy, like electricity, heat, or biofuel, just as ATP is broken down to ADP to produce energy. This framework ensures that the currency's value is constantly backed by real energy while avoiding the inflationary issues associated with traditional fiat currencies. Lastly, Yu Tingfeng will explain the question, is the gold standard as effective as ATP energy currency?
So ATP is often called the energy currency of life, while the gold standard was once the foundation of monetary systems. Let's see how they function and what we can learn from this comparison. ATP is the main energy carrier in our cells. It's powered almost every activity in the body, from muscle movement to brain signals. What's so special about ATP is dynamic regulation. Cells produce and consume ATP based on real-time needs. Also, every cell can produce ATP independently, which makes the system highly decentralized and efficient. This gives biological systems flexibility, stability, and a quick response to changes. Now let's look at the gold standard. It's a system where a country's money is directly linked to gold. This gives long-term price stability, but also brings serious limitations. Because the money supply is limited by gold, governments can't easily adjust the economy. For example, during the Great Depression in the 1930s, countries on the gold standard couldn't react quickly to economic crises, which slowed recovery. Here is some key comparison. ATP is flexible, responsive, and decentralized. The gold standard is rigid, slow and adjust, and centrally controlled. ATP adapts moment by moment to the environment, but the gold standard can't easily handle sudden economic changes. This slide is about limitations and modern trends. Because of its inflexibility, the gold standard is no longer used today. Modern economics are moving towards more flexible monetary systems, like digital currencies or algorithmic stablecoins, which can adjust supply based on real-time data. Inspired by ATP, these new systems aim to be more adaptive and efficient, like biological systems. Thank you.
Here are references. Thank you for your listening.